Hi, this is John Elliott with Carevive. Just wanted to follow up. We've had a lot of activity in the industry over the last month. Going to give you guys a quick summary of where we've participated, what we've heard, and how it may impact you. So starting back into September, early October, we were at the ASCO Quality Conference in Chicago. I'd say the key findings there and themes were definitely around ePros. I was excited to see Dr. Gabrielle Rock from UAB be a big leader across the show, hosting a lot of the conversation, driving a lot of the conversation, and closing out the show on Saturday afternoon. And seeing there were 6 abstracts coming out of UAB and USA Mitchell around the impact of patient-reported outcomes as a standard of care, from everywhere from the feasibility, from nursing alert burden on the nursing staff and response time. Interesting information, particularly interesting around that it was coming from Carevive data, but just in general, ePros was certainly a theme. We also heard from more industry folks around ePros and the utility, and really the impact of implementation. The technology is not that sophisticated. When you look at the industry as a whole and the different options and technology that exist, it's all about the patient experience. It's all about reaching out to the patient, capturing information to ultimately reduce or eliminate hospitalizations and ED visits. However, the adoption of the tools and technology with limited human resources in the clinic is really the bottleneck or the barrier for more broad adoption, and really the struggles that we heard and the problems that are trying to be solved in the market. That's really where Carevive differentiates with our clinical team and our nurse practitioners that come from the bedside clinics, and understanding how to really transform the practice to utilize this technology and ensure adoption across the patients and the care team. Right after that, seamlessly, there was the American Association of Cancer Institutes. Fortunately, it was hosted in Kansas City, my hometown, so I was excited to be there and visit all these national or NCI sites, and these leaders really focused on research, really hearing how they're taking their grants and funding as an NCI site and making an impact on outcomes. There was the inauguration or the welcoming of Northwell Cancer Institute, Northwell Health, up in New York State as the 106th site. That's really exciting to just continue to see that community grow. I'd say the biggest takeaway there is that everybody's focused on equity, health equity, which is not new. We've seen that theme throughout. We see that in Cancer Moonshot. We see that throughout all of the industry shows, certainly a focus on health equity. ACCC, so the Community Cancer Association down in Florida, West Palm, Florida. We're fortunate to have our co-founder there, as well as some of our clinical strategists. And really the theme and takeaway there that we found was multidisciplinary ePros is certainly emerging. So not just oncology, right? We know the importance of ePros in oncology because of the complexity and the severity of symptoms and how that impacts their outcome and the range of treatments that occur, but certainly an interest around multidisciplinary ePros. So we hear leaders talk about, ePros for oncology at that conference, but also how they're having to work and navigate within their health system on how that aligns, ePros align with the bigger, broader patient experience and other electronic patient-reported outcomes across other, chronic diseases or populations. Go to the Oracle Cerner Health Conference that was also in Kansas City, and I was excited to see, we'll have that live again, and then now certainly with an Oracle brand to it, and an Oracle component to that conference. Really, I'd say the main takeaway there was around patient experience, and that these IT folks, predominantly an IT persona, clinical informatics applications, CIOs, really the attendees there. And I think the outcome, are really the theme that we heard, was that patient experience is a priority, and that native EMR capabilities weren't fundamentally originated or founded on the patient experience. So they're more I'd say definitely to achieve meaningful use in clinical documentation, but patient experience is definitely being achieved by technology. So there's this, there are some gaps today. Fortunately, some of the EMR companies are working with third parties such as Carevive, where we can fill the gaps, and we can and not have duplicative processes or duplicative documentation. And with integration, we can achieve both the patient experience with the traditional clinical documentation and workflow for the care team. So I'd say that was a big piece, is that patient experience is being prioritized by IT leaders across health systems. And lastly, JAD Pro. So that was out in Denver, so focused with this advanced practice nurses. and really understanding that nurse practitioners and advanced practice nurses, they need help. I'd say across all of these different shows, it captures slightly different personas in oncology and healthcare. Staffing is certainly an issue across all, and I think at JADPRO we heard that, and really heard that a lot. And they need technology to help enable their capabilities. I mean, they went into practice, and all clinicians went into practice to help improve outcomes and help patients. And they're stretched very thin today. But everyone's optimistic that oncology, in particular, the technology can help some of the complexities that they deal with. So I'd say the overall takeaway in the industry right now is that patient experience is key, that implementation science is essential, and that technology, flip of a switch technology, is not going to solve the problems that are really painful and that we're hearing about, and that the collaboration across academic medical centers, community cancer centers, this whole ecosystem of oncology cancer care are all thinking about very similar problems, and they're executing them maybe on slightly different ways based on limitations, whether it be resources or capital, access to our ability to grants. But we're seeing very common themes across the industry. So hope this was helpful. Give you a quick synopsis of some of the industry material we've been hearing, how we've been engaged, how we've been out there as thought leaders, and look forward to sharing more on what's coming up in the months ahead. Thanks so much.